God created our body and all the systems to work for our good. So He created the parasympathetic nervous system for our bodies to have an involuntary response to help us lower our stress level by lowering cortisol when we exercise. Is the cold outside keeping you from exercising? Are you feeling down or anxious or possibly stressed? In this episode, we're going to tackle why exercise is so important to keep up even in the winter and how that boosts your mental health. Is it hard to make healthy food choices and find time to exercise because you're too busy? Welcome to Self-Care for Busy Moms. I'm your host, Susan. That was me, overwhelmed with my kids' schedules, running things smoothly and ignoring the stress that was affecting my body. But then I found ways to bring myself back to health with food, exercise, and Christ. I can't wait to share them with you too. Get your step counter and remember the sunscreen. It's time to get started on your self-care. I know this is a busy season and self-care sometimes gets lost in the shuffle of things this month. That's why I created a self-care tracker that you can just print out and post where you can see this easily to remind you and to keep you accountable to do a few things for yourself. This is just one small way that you can stay motivated to steward your body well. The link is seroselfcare.myflowdesk.com/tracker. Hey friend! I used to live in the Pacific Northwest, and when you live further up north, the contrast of the daylight hours in the summer versus the daylight hours in the winter is dramatic. I lived in a geographical area where you had to take vitamin D supplements in the winter as a very important step to stay healthy. Seasonal affective disorder is a real issue. And I remember getting a little bit of the winter blues sometime around February when we lived further up north. I now live in the south. And do you know that winter in Texas can still get cold even if there's more sunlight than the north during winter? I didn't know this when we first moved here. But boy, was I glad that I had kept all of my winter gear, my winter coat and everything, especially when my youngest son, was doing early spring baseball and his evening practices were late and it was cold out there. I was bundled up with all of my winter gear. Well, we know that winter days are shorter, colder, and have reduced sunlight, and this often worsens mood, energy, and motivation in us. So how can we combat this? The answer may surprise you, or maybe you already knew that the answer would be exercise. Yes, exercise combats seasonal affective disorder, or SAD, as some people might call it, and it does this by mimicking sunlight. As I was doing research for this is something new that I learned. Outdoor exercises, even on cloudy days, increases exposure to natural light, which helps regulate serotonin and melatonin levels. This reduces symptoms of SAD, and the studies have shown that 30 to 60 minutes of moderate activity can mimic light therapy effects. There was a 2019 study done by Youngstead that was published on Chronobiology International that found that morning outdoor exercise in winter advanced circadian phase, thereby reducing seasonal affective disorder symptoms by 40% in some cases. The second thing is that exercise in the winter also releases endorphins and reduces cortisol. Physical activity triggers the release of endorphins and dopamine, which are natural mood elevators. A 2023 meta-analysis in psychiatry research found that aerobic exercises, for example, brisk walking or cycling, these reduced depressive symptoms by 20 to 30% in the winter months. What happens if you can't walk outside or do any activity outside because of the weather? Well, try playing some amazing worship music and have everyone dance to it. Or you could just jump and dance to it on your own if your kids don't want to join in with you on the dance. I have had a small trampoline that I usually keep tucked away, but I'll pull it out when I can't go outside. And what I'll do is I'll play some great music and then I'll bounce on my trampoline for 10 minutes. I guarantee you will be sweating by the end of that 10 minutes. Find creative ways to make exercise fun in the winter. Just going out into the snow and making snow angels with the kids will work up a sweat. The third thing is that exercise in the winter also reduces anxiety and stress. So who needs to reduce anxiety and stress? Me. I've got my hand way up here. We all have stressors and anxieties at some point, but exercise reduces and lowers cortisol levels and activates the parasympathetic nervous system. A study in Frontiers in Psychology from 2024 showed that winter-specific activities like snowshoeing or indoor stretching activities decreased anxiety by 25% in adults. God created our body and all the systems to work for our good. So He created the parasympathetic nervous system for our bodies to have an involuntary response to help us lower our stress level by lowering cortisol when we exercise. There are other activities that will also trigger the parasympathetic nervous systems, like deep breathing. When our parasympathetic nervous system is triggered, this is what happens. Our heart rate decreases, our blood pressure decreases, our digestion increases, and we have an overall feeling of rest. On the other hand, when our sympathetic nervous system is triggered, like stress, this causes a fight or flight or freeze response in our bodies. This is actually a good thing if we're actually facing real emergency or a real danger. But if it's not a real danger and more of a stressor, this will trigger an increase in our heart rate, our respiratory rate increases, our blood pressure increases, and digestion decreases. So we want to do what we can in our abilities to focus on activating our parasympathetic nervous system, because that will give us the overall feeling of rest in our physical body, which is why exercise is so important. I do want to make a quick note that excessive exercise will actually do the opposite. So while exercise is great to lower cortisol levels, if it's too intense and you're pushing yourself too hard in this area, it will actually elevate your cortisol and add stress to your body. So please always listen to your body. The fourth thing is that exercise in the winter also improves sleep quality. Winter's shorter days, it disrupts circadian rhythms. So regular exercise, especially morning or early afternoon, really helps to reset sleep and our wake-up cycles. Research from Sleep Medicine Reviews indicates 150 minutes of weekly moderate exercise improves sleep onset and depth. So, for example, a nice brisk walk in the morning will do wonders to reset your circadian rhythms. The sunlight hitting our eyes stops the melatonin production and gets your brain to wake up and be alert. This regulates your body's internal circadian rhythm, and you're going to feel energized during the day and ready to sleep at night. The fifth point is that exercise in the winter also enhances cognitive function and resilience. Cold weather exercise increases brain-derived neurotrophic factor, supporting neuron growth and memory. So a 2025 study in Journal of Affective Disorders found that winter runners showed better executive function and emotional regulation than sedentary peers. But hey, you don't have to be a winter marathon runner to feel the same benefits. Any cardio movement outside in the cooler weather will have the same net effect. I really hope that you're inspired and encouraged to go out there and move your body, even if it's cold outside. I know that it can feel like a hassle to bundle up if it's so cold outside. It's so much easier to cozy up with a book or do something fun and relaxing inside. But now that you know at least 5 benefits exercise has for our mental health in the winter, I hope that you can jump whatever mental hurdles that you have to just go out and move. Find an easy way to make this happen by going out for a walk around the block, or if it isn't icy or snowy, how about going for a bike ride or a short jog? Can you find a friend to go for a walk with? Go with your family, or find time to go out by yourself as you take the effort to take care of yourself. God bless you, sister. Don't forget to grab your freebie at seroselfcare.myflowdesk.com/tracker. Hey, Mama! Thank you for listening to the end. If you enjoyed today's episode, would you bless another mom who's looking for simple routines to feel healthy again? Also, please leave a quick review for the show on Apple Podcast. I'm always so encouraged to know that this podcast is helping you. Together, we can encourage one another for long-term strength and health because it matters to our families and for future generations to come. Just a reminder that I am not a substitute for medical advice. God bless you.